So Trump announced 4 massive changes to the Department of Defense, and each one I think is absolutely incredible. I have a video of him announcing them. Here it is.
And in a little while, I'll be signing 4 new executive orders. First is that I'm directing our new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's going to be great, by the way. Thank you for the support. Thank you very much for the support. You really did support him greatly. I think he's going to be fantastic. I know him very well. I think he's going to be fantastic. He's what we need to immediately begin the construction of a state-of-the-art Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be able to protect Americans. You know, we protect other countries, but we don't protect ourselves. And when Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many years ago, luckily we didn't. We didn't have the technology then. It was a concept, but we didn't. And now we have phenomenal technology. You see that with Israel. And next, to ensure that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, we will get transgender ideology the hell out of our military. It's going to be gone. In addition, we will stop our service members from being indoctrinated with radical left ideologies such as critical race theory. We're going to stop it. It's already been stopped. It's already been halted, totally halted. And finally, we will offer full reinstatement to any service member who was expelled from the armed forces due to the COVID vaccine mandate. And we will restore them to their former rank with full pay.
So I want to go through all 4 of those and what they really mean and how big of a change this is. But first, to understand this, before I go into them, there is no sane American that doesn't want the 4 things that Trump just listed there. And that is why it is such a slam dunk for Trump and for Republicans, because this is just common sense stuff at this point. And obviously, it's a slam dunk in terms of really great policy and helping, you know, the America get back in line, that's for sure. But it's also just so good for Republicans and their election chances moving forward, because Republicans right now are proving that they are the party of common sense, which is what they advertised in the 2024 election. So going into each one of those and just what it really means. The first one, he talks about the Iron Dome around the United States. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the way he says it. Because what he says, if you listen closely, he says, we pay for others to have these things, but we don't even have them ourselves. And look, I think Israel is a really good ally. I'm glad that we've helped them with their Iron Dome. I think that there's some really good strategy in that. But for the U.S. to not have what they already have, I think is a little bit ridiculous. It's not very America first. And so for Trump to do this, I think it's very smart, very good. And maybe this is the other funny thing. 10 years ago, if you'd asked me, do we need an Iron Dome over America? You know, I would have been like, I don't know. Like, is that kind of a waste of time? But when you see a Chinese spy balloon fly over almost all of the continental United States without getting shot down, I'm a massive fan of this. Because imagine it crosses through, I think it maybe went over Alaska a little bit and then crossed through Washington, or maybe it was Montana first. It should have barely crossed into Montana. And immediately our Iron Dome, or whatever you want to call it, should have shot that sucker down. And instead, we had people like Lloyd Austin, who was Biden's Secretary of Defense, who just let it go on through. And I think it made it pretty much all the way to the East Coast, which is ridiculous. So I think it's a fantastic idea. The second one is getting trans ideology out of the military. This one's pretty simple. I don't know why we ever had this in the military. I think almost every single American, if you look at America, like I've looked at the polling a lot for Americans, there's about 15 to 20% of America that is truly progressive, and it's very sad. And I'm sure they'd call this DEI, they'd call it inclusion in the military. They can believe that. 80% at least, if not more, does not believe in this crap. And so it's just a slam dunk for Republicans. The third one, getting rid of woke teaching in the academies and in training, like critical race theory, other things like that. This is a big one. This is actually really big. You would think it's very obvious not to have these things, but the reason why I think, I thought about this one a little bit more. The reason why I think this one's so important not to have, because I cannot think of something that kills morale more for troops than telling them that the United States is an evil country. Just thinking about that and what critical race theory teaches. So I don't think that should be anywhere near the military. I think it's fantastic that we're getting that one out. But finally, I think this is my favorite one. It is that those who didn't want to get the jab get to come back into the military. And I think the fact that this happened is insane. It's something I think a lot of us have forgotten about. I certainly have forgotten about it. Maybe you haven't. But Democrats wonder why the respect for our military operations has decreased. It's because of things like this. Do you think, you have to ask yourself, do you think our enemies care if their soldiers get vaccinated? I don't, because at the end of the day, they want the most ruthless fighters coming after our soldiers. And I think that we should have the best people to fight them. And what they want to do with their medical choices is up to them. Are they physically fit? Are they the best in the world? Then we want them. That's all I care about. So I suppose, yes, their medication does matter to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, I just want the very best, and I don't care if they don't want this and don't want that, as long as they're physically fit and they're the best at what they do. And I think not only is this a good change for our military going forward, but the reason why I like this one the most is because Trump is righting a wrong that was so egregious and so unjust. And so I think it's really fantastic that Trump is using his presidential executive authority to do something so good. This tax season, file with Quick Tax America because they're doing all federal returns for only $69. Yes, only $69, no matter how complicated your taxes are. Also, they do all the work for you. You simply answer a few questions, you upload your documents, and you schedule a 15-minute finish your return call with a tax professional, and they do all the rest. There's no hidden fees. They're not like the woke companies that are going to charge you an arm and a leg, and then you have to spend 4 hours doing all the work yourself. Again, it's only $69 no matter how complicated your taxes are. They do all the work. Go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com, or you can go to the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.